Marxism, where all the people would benefit, he says. Please, America, tell me you reject that thinking. Democrats, independents, for all that is holy, please. He claims that Marxism is a system, quoting, where all of the people would benefit. Where is that utopia, sir? Where is the Marxist model of success? Where is it? Where all of the people are thriving equally. We have tried to educate the young people in this country about the real fruits of Karl Marx labor, death and oppression. From Lenin to Stalin to Chairman Mao to Pol Pot, they starved. They murdered millions of their own people. They stole liberty. They crushed freedom in order to have one thing. Not equality, but control. They spied on their people. They denied free speech and the people's right to worship as they choose. This supposed reverend applauds this system and gave it over and over again every Sunday to the Obamas, and they sat and soak it in, and he is so unafraid to speak it out just last month again. Ever since Jeremiah Wright has come into the limelight, complained about our militarism. Is anyone under the impression that the communists were peaceful? That communists are an unarmed bunch of flower children? Ask the Czechs. Ask the Poles, the Hungarians, about the tender mercies of the Soviet sweetness. You might want to check with Georgia, that are struggling with everything they've got. How about Latvia, the Ukraine, the Baltics, the Yugoslavs, all of Eastern Europe? Oh, and let's not forget Afghanistan, and the South Koreans might have something to add to that, as well as the South Vietnamese. Oh, no, I forgot. The communist North politely invaded and wiped out the South. Never mind. Jeremiah Wright tries to wrap Marxism up in a blanket of love and concern for the poor. The only concern he has for the poor is to make sure that everyone is equally poor, except for the ruling elite. What kind of twisted, freakish perversion of the scriptures convinces people to believe that forced redistribution of other people's money is charitable? Giving is charitable. Taking is a commandment. Don't steal. Look, here are a few other things that we know. We know that Barack Obama was mentored by a communist, Frank Marshall Davis. We know that in his own words that he preferred the company of a Marxist professor in college and Marxist professors in college. We know that he thinks when you spread the wealth around, it's good for everyone. We know that that is one of the main tenets of Marxism. We know that he hired Van Jones, a revolutionary communist radical. We know that he hired Ron Bloom, a manufacturing czar, that kind of agrees with Mao and believes that the free market system is nonsense. We know that he hired Anita Dunn, and that Chairman Mao is one of the two people she turns to most. We know he hired Mark Lloyd, someone who believes our freedom of speech rights are exaggerated, quote unquote, and that Hugo Chavez, the revolution in Venezuela, was, quote, really incredible, end quote. We know that he appointed Carol Browner to the cabinet, a member of the International Socialist Organization. We know that he hired John Holdren, who believes in redistribution of America's wealth, and we know that this administration is eager to sign a climate change treaty in Copenhagen with the UN that will redistribute our wealth to third world nations. I don't know how many more pieces of evidence you need. Maybe it doesn't add up to anything. Maybe the laws of physics just don't apply to our savior and Lord in the White House, Barack Obama. Maybe magic fairies will sprinkle social justice down on all of us like pixie dust, and it will be a wonderful, wonderful world where there'll be no bloodshed and all of the animals will talk like they did in Disney movies. Maybe. I don't see it happening. But there is one thing I do know. We must ask the one question. We must focus on this one question. Does it matter? Does it matter that there are anti-capitalist, socialist, Marxist radicals in the executive branch of the United States government? We need to decide. Does it matter?